It is almost 2 a.m. and I'm here in my hotel room in Indianapolis about to do a Royal Rumble recap because, guys, what a night. All right, so I just finished uploading all of my press conference videos. Those are all up right now. I'm in Indianapolis. I have a flight to catch in a couple of hours, but I needed to come on here and share like my quick reactions and thoughts to what went down here tonight because there was a lot. Now, there were some things that happened on the show that were pretty predictable, right? Some moments that we might have predicted or expected, but then there were some other moments that you were just like, what the hell did I just see? What happened? Oh my God. You name it, just a bunch of different reactions. So I do want to go ahead and jump right in. So first and foremost, this interview is going to focus on the men's and the women's Rumble. I'll explain why afterwards, but let's get to it. I want to kick things off with the women's Royal Rumble. So the thing that really stood out to me about this year's Rumble for the women was not necessarily like that it was shocking because I think we all pretty much expected at some point that it would be Charlotte. Now, my pick to win the Royal Rumble was Io Sky. Many of you guys saw my Royal Rumble predictions video, and I thought Io Sky was going to win. And really, I thought she was going to win only because she had had that interaction with Rhea Ripley, and I thought, like, okay, maybe she's the Royal Rumble winner, right? The second that she came out as entrant number one, I knew that shit was out the door. I'm like, oh yeah, Io Sky's not winning. But at the same time, I kind of myself and maybe a lot of you guys already expected it to be Charlotte because they had announced, hey, Charlotte is going to be making her return to the Royal Rumble. There was all of these reports out that they really are considering doing Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton at the Royal Rumble. And so when you start to put all the puzzle pieces together, I think you guys knew Charlotte Flair was winning the Rumble. Then when she came out, what number did she come out at? 27, I believe? Yes, 27. When she came out at number 27, come on. We were like, she's gonna win the Rumble. Like, that's it. It was a dead giveaway. So on that end, it was very, very predictable. But there was a lot of other stuff that happened in the Women's Rumble that really, really rocked and was just very cool. So first of all, my favorite thing about this Rumble, and this is what I had said in my predictions video that I wanted, was to see a lot of NXT women. I had said, please, let's do more than one or two NXT women in the Rumble this year. And I said this because the NXT women on a freaking weekly basis are constantly just killing it on NXT. They are the reason to tune in and watch that show. And so, to me, you got to reward that. You got to put these girls out there and have these really big moments for them. And we got to see so many of them. Of course, Roxanne Perez. I was so stunned, by the way, when Roxanne Perez came in at number 3. I wasn't expecting her so early in the Rumble. And Jesus, I was not expecting Roxanne Perez to last as long as she did. She lasted an hour and 7 minutes with 47 seconds, and she made it all the way to the final two. The final two. Who the hell had Roxanne Perez and Charlotte Flair in their final two? I know I did it, and I love Roxanne Perez, but I was not expecting her to be in the final two. I thought that was incredible because it really, really shone this light on an NXT talent. And that I don't recall that we've seen happen in a women's Royal Rumble before to that magnitude, to the fact where they are like the final two. Of course, you guys can go and fact check me on all that, but just off the top of my head, I'm not thinking about it right now. But Roxanne Perez making it to the final two with Charlotte Flair, I thought was massive for Roxanne. Like, what a beautiful moment for her to have this, to be able to say that she has now added this to her list of career accolades. Like, Roxanne Perez, it is insane at this point how many career accolades she has accumulated in such a short amount of time. Now, the other thing that I think a lot of people are probably going to mention, maybe some of you guys will mention it here in the comments, let me know. I did kind of feel, though, that the ending with Charlotte and Roxanne, even though we already knew it was going to be Charlotte, I think we even more so, there wasn't that element of like, ooh, what if, right? The anticipation, right? When you're watching the final two performers in the Royal Rumble, you are hanging on. You are hanging on and you're thinking, oh my God, any little slip of the foot and he's out, right? Or she's out. And you're in anticipation, and every little moment over the rope is just like, oh, like, that's the feeling that you get when you're watching the Rumble. I don't necessarily think we got that with Charlotte and Roxanne for two reasons. One, I don't think they set it up enough to make it feel like it was believable that Roxanne Perez would defeat Charlotte Flair. I think that was really the big thing, that no one necessarily bought that Roxanne would defeat Charlotte. And so really that was the big reason. I didn't think they set it up for us to really think that was going to happen. So I didn't necessarily love the way the finish came. I love seeing Charlotte get the win because then, it's Tiffy time. And I definitely want to see Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton. So even though I know having Charlotte Flair come back and win is very predictable, I'm sure a bunch of people here are probably not going to like it. But look, Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton is going to kick ass. And may I add, I was just so happy to see Charlotte come back. I thought she looked phenomenal with that big red giant robe, which she revealed that she couldn't take off at one point. She revealed that in the press conference, and I think we can tell too. But she just looks so expensive, so regal, and she really did look and come across as that top girl act that she is currently doing right now. And in her press conference, I got to ask the first question to Charlotte. And it was just pretty much about overcoming her injury and coming out here and winning the Royal Rumble. Very simple. And she got emotional with that question because she, only she knows what she went through with all of the things that she dealt with her knee. Now, I know for us, we're constantly seeing athletes and performers constantly tear ACLs, and then they come back and it's like they never were gone, But at the end of the day, though, we don't see the suffering behind the scenes of when you're rehabbing your torn ACL, your torn meniscus, or whatever it is that you're dealing with. We don't see that, right? We don't see the rehab process. We don't see that. And we don't even know what what they deal with on the aftermath of it all, even when they have healed. We don't know. And so for her to be so vulnerable and to be so, just thankful that she's back, thankful that she's wrestling, and to be so emotional about it, I love seeing Charlotte open up that way. And I feel like right now Charlotte is at the point of her career where she has done it all. And now it's like, okay, well, I don't want my career to end. So what else can I do next? How can I take this another step further? Personally, I hope, and I've said this in a couple of podcasts, and I'm going to say it again, I really do hope that Charlotte puts over Tiffany Stratton, and I want to see Tiffany Stratton defeat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I love both of those women, but I think the right move would be to have Charlotte have a hell of a match with Tiffany, but have Tiffany be the one to go over because, guys, it's all about the future, and we know it's Tiffy time, and eventually, you're gonna want to see these new crop of superstars start to take over. So I do want to talk about some of the other entrants. So I mentioned that the second that Io Sky came out at number 1, I knew it was finitoed, like she wasn't gonna win. I did love though that Io, Liv, Roxanne, and Lyra, the first 4. I love that they were really your girls that could just go. I loved that instantly you had Liv and both Liv and Roxanne have had a history with Lyra Valkyria. I'm sorry, not Liv, Io and Roxanne. I love seeing Io and Roxanne in there with Lyra because they had this history and they played off of it very nicely at the start of the Rumble. I thought that was a joy to see. Chelsea Green, I thought she was very funny. Obviously, she lasted a lot longer in the Rumble, but she was very, very fun to see. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe she got the first elimination of the night, if I remember correctly. Sorry, guys. When you're watching live, there's just a lot happening. And I'm all the way in the sky in the press box, which is in the heavens. So I'm like out there talking to the gods and stuff. And so the gods can be a little distracting. Anyways, so I can't I couldn't hear what commentary was saying during this. They didn't turn on commentary for the press box, I think, until maybe a little bit more than like after, like more than past the middle of the women's Royal Rumble. So it took a second for them to turn commentary on. But even then, I didn't have the stream directly in front of me. So I'm watching the Tron, I'm watching the ring. I'm primarily watching the Tron because I really couldn't see the ring. But anyway, so all that to say is that Chelsea Green, by the way, getting eliminated by Piper accidentally, I thought was great. It made me sad, but it made me happy because we all knew that that was coming at some point. We kind of got a patch of some slow names coming out. Like we got a couple that were like, didn't really get massive reactions. And then we finally got another NXT person, which was the second from Roxanne. And that was entrance number 9, which was Lash Legend. I had hoped she would be in the Rumble because she is somebody that's been on the main roster. She's made appearances and she's done a really good job. And I love the way she has looked. I think she goes in there and she's so powerful. And she was somebody that I'm like, there's no way she, like, if they put more NXT girls in this time, there's no way she's not in it. So Lash Legend, loved seeing her. Once Bianca Belair came in as entrance number 10, things really started to pick up a little bit more for sure. Then it kind of died down just a little bit. We did see Bayley at number 12. That was fun. Of course, last year's winner. It kind of died down a little bit. There were some dips and some moments, right? But then entrance number 16, Jada Parker, another NXT person. I was very excited to see her. I feel like if you don't watch NXT, you probably may not know her as much as you would, for example, Roxanne Perez, who's been around a little longer. But Jada Parker is definitely a fan favorite for those NXT weekly viewers. And so her coming out, I felt was pretty, I felt her spot was definitely earned amongst the NXT girls. And of course, number 19, Jordynne Grace. Now, Jordynne Grace was somebody that, was last year's Rumble, but this year, it's a totally different situation. Last year, she was not signed. This then led to the partnership between WWE and TNA. But Jordynne Grace coming out here, it hit differently this time because you were like, damn, like this is her now as a WWE superstar. And myself and a lot of you guys here have probably been seeing Jordynne Grace now for several years and really seen her change herself. Like, I don't want to say change herself, but really alter herself and really have this insane glow up. Like I can't think of another person that put in that kind of work that Jordynne did to really transform herself. And tonight, she actually just recently, I was looking on Twitter right now, she had posted these side-by-side photos of her at All In with Cody Rhodes and how Cody Rhodes advocated for her to be on that show, right? And then she posted a picture of herself with Cody Rhodes here tonight, and I swear, it looks like two totally different people. And when you really see the work that she put into just changing her body and really, really amping up her physique and, her blonde hair, it's so pretty, so cute, so feminine, love it. I feel like she just really came out and she just looks so when Charlotte Flair came out, she looked regal, right? Like really regal, really expensive. When Jordynne Grace came out, I'm like, ooh, she looks like a zillion bucks, right? Like it was kind of like that, where there are certain people that just have that aura, that expensive look to them, where you're just like, damn, if I could like sculpt a wrestler, I would have loved to sculpt you out, right? So I thought Jordynne going in there and having these great moments was really, really cool. I did not love, though, that she was eliminated by Julia, which, by the way, Julia was another person from NXT that did make it into the Rumble. I didn't love that Jordynne was eliminated by Julia because I think that Jordynne Grace is a lot more popular than Julia. And even though Julia is the NXT Women's Champion and they wanted to give her, a little something extra special since she is the NXT Women's Champion, I feel like I would have preferred for Jordynne Grace to eliminate Julia and then be like, okay, are we going to get into this Jordynne Grace program? The other thing is we still don't know if Jordynne Grace is going to be on the main roster or if she's going to be on NXT. And I personally want her to be on Raw and SmackDown. I don't want her to be on NXT only because I feel like we don't need more women there, even though there's a lot of matches that, of course, we'd still want to see. I much rather see Jordynne Grace on the main roster, and so this made me feel like, maybe Jordynne Grace might not be on the main roster. After I saw Julia eliminate her, I'm like, is she gonna go out there and get her revenge and then like win the title off of Julia, which would be great, right? But again, I'm selfish. I want to see Jordynne Grace on the main roster already. So this kind of got me going like, what the hell is gonna go on with Jordynne Grace, and where is she really gonna land on the show, right? On which show is she gonna be on? So, and she's still listed here as unaffiliated, so we just don't know. A big moment too was Alexa Bliss's return. Alexa Bliss, that's my girl, guys. I love Alexa. I just think she's so cool. She's so fun. I can't help but to want to cheer for her all the time. She's a superstar. We love her. She's been in WWE for years now. And there were all of these reports and things coming out about how her contract with WWE still wasn't, they weren't meeting eye to eye or whatever, or just things weren't happening. And I remember a user on the live show basically asked me about that. I'm like, just wait a second, like just give it a minute. Like this is negotiation. Things are gonna happen and they'll figure things out and she'll be fine. She'll be appearing on the Rumble. And I was feeling very confident that Alexa Bliss was gonna be in the Rumble. And so when she did, I was very, very thrilled to see that. I also I love that Liv Morgan did eliminate Alexa Bliss, because now we kind of know, like, oh, Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss, this is where we're going. Cool. But I wasn't expecting her to only be in there for such a short amount of time, though. I was expecting her to be in the Rumble a little bit longer. Stephanie Vaquer, another NXT person who came through. She was very, very cool to watch. She had some nice highlights. Trish Stratus, a Hall of Famer. At this point, Trish Stratus came in at number 25. I was starting to wonder. I'm like, wow, we haven't really seen any legends. I feel like going into this Rumble, there was a lot of talk about Nikki Bella. There was a lot of talk about AJ Lee, and I thought, man, there's no way all these people are going to be in there. Like, there are a lot of people that need to be satisfied in this Rumble. You got your current roster, your NXT girls, and then legends. That's a whole lot of mouths to feed. There's only 30 plates. So that's it. There's only 30. And so Trish Stratus, when she finally came out, I thought, oh, great. First of all, she looks amazing, but also she really was the only legend besides the entrance in number 30 that came out as the net legend spot, which was Nikki Bella at number 30. But before I get to Nikki, we did have Charlotte at 27. We spoke a whole lot about her. Julia at 28 spoke a lot about her. And oh yeah, that was the other thing. Roxanne Perez eliminating Julia. I wasn't expecting the former champ to eliminate the current champ, which is why, again, that I did not love Julia eliminating Jordynne Grace. Like, all of that just didn't really add up to me so well. But anyways, number 30, Nikki Bella, the other legend who came out. I wasn't sure who that number 30 spot was going to be. I kind of thought that it would be Becky Lynch, but it wasn't. So when Nikki Bella came out, I had a feeling it would be Nikki. I had a feeling Nikki Bella would be in the Rumble. I just didn't think she would be number 30. But I did love seeing Nikki Bella come out. I thought she got a good amount of stuff. The only other thing that I probably did not really love too much in the Rumble was the one big spot where they had Nia Jax eliminate a bunch of the girls. I didn't love that because I felt like there was a lot of people that they could have told a better story with, like, instead of just having Nia Jax eliminate all the bunch all at once. So I really did not love that part. I'm trying to see if there was anything else that I really stood out to me. I'm probably forgetting right now, but those were really some of the big moments that really stood out to me in the actual Women's Rumble. But overall, I thought it was a fun Rumble. I loved mostly all the entrants. I thought they did a really good job of, like, at least trying to space out some of the surprises or some of the people that you would get excited about. And again, love to see the NXT girls really get their time to shine. All right, so next up, I want to get into the Men's Rumble. The reason why I'm not getting into the rest of the show, guys, is because I think it would be unfair of me to, because I missed most of the two matches in the middle, which was the tag team match and then the Cody KO match. I only caught the ending of the match. I didn't get to watch the entire thing because I left to go get a drink, and there are hundreds, not hundreds of thousands, but there were thousands of people in the line. And I had to wait and try to get myself a drink. And so I ended up being gone most of this little period. And then I came back for the last like 5 minutes of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, which, by the way, the ending of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, how the hell did Kevin Owens just like, he got into the ladder, like right into between the steps and just like folded. I have no idea how the hell that happened. It was insane to see. So I did think the ending was phenomenal though, from what I saw. So I'm sorry about not, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch that though, because I've heard nothing but good things from it based off of what I saw on social media. All right. But Cody Rhodes wins, obviously. All right. Now let's go ahead and get into the men's Royal Rumble. So I'll be honest, I think that this year I actually enjoyed the men's Royal Rumble the most. And I think the reason why I enjoyed the men's, well, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I don't know. Maybe I liked them evenly. But here's the thing. I think I liked the latter portion of the men's Rumble more than the latter portion of the women's Rumble. I think I liked the start of the women's Rumble and then the middle of the women's Rumble. And then I loved the middle and towards the end of the men's Rumble. So whatever. Take that for whatever you will. So the men's Rumble, by the way, I was surprised at first when Rey Mysterio came out as entrant number 1. I was not expecting that. And then I felt stupid because when Penta came out, I was like, oh shit, I probably should have seen that coming. Like I should have seen that the second that Rey Mysterio was number 1, that Penta would follow immediately after, right? And this was a very cool moment because obviously you have Rey Mysterio, you have Penta in there, and having seen them start the Rumble was very cool. Unfortunately, there was a moment that Penta was on the outside, you know, sort of dangling, doing that spot where your feet are hanging. And from my point of view, and from the photos and the screenshots that I've seen, it does look like Penta's 2 feet did touch the ground. And I know that WWE was like, oh, it was just the 1 foot. It was just the one. And they could sell it enough because the image, depending on how you see it, you could make the argument that it was just one. But then if you really, really take a look, it does look like he did touch both feet on the ground. I saw it from like a mile away. I'm like, that's 2 feet, bro. And then I saw the pictures and I'm like, okay, that's still 2 feet, but I'm sure some people will see it a little bit differently. But no, to me, that was 2 feet on the ground. So unfortunately, that was a mistake. But quickly right after, they had Chad Gable go in there. So obviously, Chad Gable being Penta's first opponent on WWE, it was cool that they had him go in there and mix it up with Rey and with Penta as well. And then from there, they really just kept the bodies going. Love seeing Braun get in there at number 7. This was probably my favorite spot of one of my favorite Royal Rumble moments, believe it or not, was I show Speed. So I'm not really that familiar with Speed. I only know Speed because of one of my little cousins who was like freaking out on his birthday and telling me how much he loves Speed. And he was just talking about Speed and Speed this and Speed's his hero and I don't know what. And he's doing all these crazy things and I'm like, Speed? Who's Speed, right? And so that was when I learned who Speed was. So I learned he was incredibly popular. My 7-year-old cousin is out here freaking out about Speed, right? And so after that, I kept hearing more and more about him. It's one of those things when one person mentions him, suddenly a bunch of people you're starting to see this person a lot more, right? But you know, from what I gather, he gets like millions of views from streaming, so good for him. And at first I was kind of like, all right, you know, they did a bit. I love the way that they did this, by the way. So Akira Tozawa was supposed to be number 8 and he gets taken out. I forgot who took him out, but whatever, he gets taken out. And he then they take a camera to the back and Triple H is like, oh my God, you know, who's going to be the person to fill in, right? You just see them sort of being like, what? And then all of a sudden, Triple H finds Speed and sends him out there and like forces him out there. So I thought that was like a really cute little way. It was unique. I don't think they've done something like that before. And it gave us a different look at the behind the scenes of the Rumble and how anything can happen, right? And so Speed goes out there and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is about to be a joke, right? Like this is going to be a joke. But he goes out there. And I gotta tell you, I became a big Speed fan. Like I said, one of my favorite recent Royal Rumble moments. He took the most craziest spear I have ever seen from Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker literally killed Speed. And the way that he was positioned when he took the spear, he wasn't like facing Braun Breaker where like Braun Breaker could get him like here. From what I saw, it was he got him essentially from like the side because of the way he was positioned. And so it just looked worse, right, for Speed because he just takes it. But wow, his selling job of that, A plus, man. A freaking plus, Speed. I thought he was insane for doing that, and it looked marvelous. It looked so marvelous to see Speed just like completely get taken out by Braun Breaker. And so then afterwards, Speed gets thrown out by Braun, which by the way, I think Braun broke character a little bit because I kind of saw Braun smile a little bit. Like he had like a little smile as he was like taking him out, right? And Braun Breaker's not really going to be like smiling. I think he kind of broke character a little bit there. But he throws out Speed, and I'm thinking he's just going to land smack on the floor. But no, Otis catches him. And I'm thinking like, oh, what's Otis going to do? Otis freaking tosses him into the commentary table. And that sequence was just so flawlessly executed. It was so entertaining. It really made for a memorable freaking moment. So now, if Speed wants to come back and do another bit with WWE, I'm not going to be against it because, hell, I was freaking entertained with this whole little Speed spot. So honestly, massive respect to him for doing that. That was very, very fun. All right, so after that, we did see Fatu in there. We did see a lot of cool moments with Fatu and later on Roman Reigns, but we'll talk about that in a second. Ludwig Kaiser, another big one was number 15, which was Joe Hendry. That was, of course, one of my predictions too, maybe a lot of other people's. TNA World Champion Joe Hendry. And I think the best part about Joe Hendry was him going out there to this 60,000 plus people in this building, and they're all singing his song. And you gotta wonder, like, damn, imagine what that means to a guy who's been working his ass off for years trying to make it, and to get a moment like this in the Royal Rumble. Like, he had the dream come true. He was an entrant in the Rumble, all these people singing his song, popping for him, reacting to him, and then going in there and having a moment with Roman freaking Reigns, who eventually eliminated him. Dude, I loved that. I love that so freaking much. And by the way, since I'm on the topic, Roman Reigns came out right after Joe Hendry, but another moment that I loved in the Rumble, though, was Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns, and they did like a, almost like a pistol thing, where a duel, is that what you call it? And that's the way I'm saying it, right? Because it was like, who's going to get the spear on who? And it ended up being Braun get the spear on Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns does eliminate Braun Breaker. But of course, if you're going to get eliminated by anybody, by the way, you better hope it's Roman Reigns that eliminates your ass. So Roman did get Joe Hendry and Braun Breaker very quickly in that little bit there, but that was fun. And like I said, we did see Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns have a moment there. That was very fun too. And let's see, Drew, Finn, they go out there. Number 20, Jey Uso, he goes out there. Then 21 was returning AJ Styles. Happy to see him back from his back injury that he had. So really good to see him back. Number 23 in his last Royal Rumble, John Cena. You kind of got the feels during this. You felt excited that you were seeing John Cena, but you also felt sad because the moment hits you and you're like, damn, this is it. That's it. Like, this is his last run as a Royal Rumble entrance, like running down the ramp, that long ass ramp that they had people run through, and getting in there. And when you think about the Royal Rumble, like obviously as fans we see it and we're like, wow, that must be so exciting to be part of, right? I'm sure for wrestlers it's nerve-wracking, but it's also very exciting. And to think that that's like the last time you'll feel that sort of exhilaration in the Rumble, that does get very, very bittersweet. So you definitely felt that in the audience for sure. And then CM Punk followed right after. Love that. It was just like bang, bang, bang. Here's all these people: John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Dominic Mysterio. It was just like nonstop there. And then we did have these moments too with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, all of that shit that went down. The Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, LA Knight, Logan Paul at number 30. I had forgotten about Logan Paul, so I wasn't expecting him at number 30. That was another one. The eliminations. These ones were interesting because we saw CM Punk eliminate Roman and Seth Rollins, which I thought was huge, right? And as I'm reacting to that, I'm literally in the middle of reacting to that. I'm like, oh, wow, like those are some really big eliminations for CM Punk. And before I can even finish the sentence, all of a sudden, Logan Paul eliminates CM Punk. And I was like, what the F? Logan Paul just eliminated CM Punk? I did not have that one on my bingo card, guys, and I can't wait to see the follow-up to that. But again, did not have it in my bingo card, so that one really got me as a shocker there. Seth Rollins was super pissed, and he went off and was like throwing a mantrum after he got eliminated. Roman Reigns was also in disbelief. So it was just a lot that freaking went down in that quick span. And so finally, we work our way down to the final two, and it's Jey Uso and John Cena. And of course, John Cena is the popular prediction, right? He's the person that you're thinking is going to win the Rumble. And everyone's like, okay, now let's just get excited about how they execute it, right? Like, that's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking, oh, Jey Uso's going to win. No, I was thinking, hey, let me see how this elimination goes down. Let me see how they pull it off. It was more so about that to me than anything else, right? So when Jey Uso eliminated John Cena, I could not believe it. I legitimately was like, what the F? I love Jey Uso, but I was not expecting him to eliminate John freaking Cena. John Cena in his last Royal Rumble, who had been in the final two. And I think, like, for me, like, I, again, happy for Jey Uso that he won. I was just more so surprised because Jey Uso has gotten a lot of opportunities at the title and, you know, fell short of those opportunities. And so for me, I didn't think Jey Uso was going to win because of that. Because I'm like, all right, he's already had these moments. He's already had these opportunities. And it didn't come true then. But now, he really just, like, won me over, specifically in the press conference, because he's just such a humble guy, and hearing him talk about, you know, the company being behind him. And of course, we know that they're going to be behind him. Look at the reactions that he's getting, the crowd excitement, the merch he's selling, the yeet thing. It has just like taken a life of its own. So you can see why they did it. So now it's like he's going to WrestleMania, guys. He's going to be main eventing. It's most likely going to be about against Gunther, I imagine. Unless somebody from now until WrestleMania takes the title off of Gunther, it's going to be Gunther. So again, not a match that is, I would say, I don't think the match is like hot shit in the sense that, you know, it's not like a Cody Rhodes CM Punk, right? It's not like a Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes. It's not that kind of a match, but it's I think it'll probably be more so about the moment. So we'll see how they get there. We'll see what we end up really getting to once we actually get there. But again, I was happy for Jey Uso, seeing him get this really incredible moment, like Royal Rumble winner, massive, massive, massive. John Cena in the press conference, in case you missed it, did declare himself he said he's basically not declare, but he basically said, I'm gonna be in the elimination chamber. So he did technically declare himself. It's just that we don't really use that verbiage for elimination chamber. We usually use that for Royal Rumble. So that sounded kind of funky. But anyways, so he said, hey, I want to main event WrestleMania. I want to be the 17-time world champion. So yeah, I'm gonna be at the elimination chamber. And he said he's filming some projects, so we're not really gonna be seeing much of him until the actual chamber. But yeah, that's where we're at. But there are a lot of angry guys who also did not win the Royal Rumble who are looking to be in that elimination chamber. So I'm expecting, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. Those are pretty much the Drew McIntyre. Those are the who's who of who I'm expecting to be in the chamber. But anyways, that, my friends, was the Royal Rumble this year. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this review, by the way. I'm so sorry that it's almost 2 a.m. and so if I missed anything, my apologies. I didn't take any notes at all, so I was just kind of going through the list here on Wikipedia and trying to remember everything that I saw. So hopefully I didn't miss too much, but thank you guys so much for watching. And if you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel. There's so much to check out here. A quick interview that I did with Penta, Natalia, Tiffany Stratton, all of the press conference stuff, that's up here. I did a tour of the Royal Rumble. That's also up here on the channel. There's a lot of stuff. If you guys check them out, please click that subscribe button. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone. Attention to all wrestling fans in the Inland Empire and San Gabriel Valley areas of SoCal. Comic-Con Revolution is coming back to the Ontario Convention Center in Ontario, California on May 17th and May 18th. The Inland Empire's Fandom Fest has already announced some incredible wrestlers you'll be able to meet. The hardcore legend Mick Foley, multi-time world champion Booker T, and women's wrestling icon Mickie James. I got to attend Comic-Con Revolution last year, and I had the best time getting to chat with some of my favorite wrestlers. Plus, if you love Marvel, DC, have a beloved cartoon you go back to watch, or you stan Star Wars, Comic-Con Revolution is the place where fandoms of different worlds connect with the stars who bring it to life. Scheduled to appear alongside their wrestling industry guests are the voice cast of Teen Titans Go, Halo, Phineas and Ferb, all this plus cosplayers and legends of the comic book world like Mark Bagley and Marv Wolfman. So don't miss out on your opportunity to attend Comic-Con Revolution May 17th and May 18th at the Ontario, California Convention Center. Get your tickets at ccrtix.com or check the link in the description box below of this video.